In Greek mythology, the underworld is ruled by many dark entities. But in God of War, two figures stand out the most: Hades, the god of the underworld, and Thanatos, the god of death. Both command the souls of mortals, both are feared, and both have faced Kratos. But who is truly stronger? And how do they compete for dominance as the most powerful ruler of the realm of death? In this video, we'll dive into the evolution of Hades and Thanatos and explore their rivalry to become the ultimate god of the underworld. Hades was introduced as one of the most powerful gods of Olympus. He is the brother of Zeus and Poseidon and the ruler of the underworld. But his childhood was tragic. Hades was swallowed by Kratos, along with his 4 siblings, because of a prophecy that Kratos' own children would overthrow him. For years, Hades and his siblings were trapped inside their father's stomach, a fate even crueler than death. Eventually, Zeus freed them and led the war against the Titans, casting them into Tartarus. In God of War 1, Hades only appeared briefly in the background as a minor figure. His role wasn't huge yet, but his dark aura, flames bursting from his mouth, already looked terrifying. By God of War 2, his importance grew. Hades became one of the keys to Olympus's victory over the Titans. Wielding the deadly claws of Hades, a weapon that could rip out souls, he tore through the Titans, leaving them helpless. Hades was shown as a massive red-skinned god, covered in scars and wrapped in chains, with a horned helmet that glowed with fire where his face should be. His body was pierced with dark spikes, and his flesh looked damaged, likely the side effect of being trapped inside Kratos' stomach longer than his siblings. His true face was deformed, with a fragmented skull. In the story, Hades is consumed by vengeance, especially after Kratos slaughtered his wife. The boss fight between Kratos and Hades in the underworld is one of the most iconic, brutal, and symbolic battles in the series, showing just how much power Hades truly had, enough to shake the underworld itself. Thanatos, the god of death, first appeared in God of War, Ghost of Sparta. He wasn't an Olympian god, but an ancient entity, older than the Olympians themselves. Thanatos was seen as something far more pure, closer to primordial power. As the embodiment of death, his appearance was terrifying. In his humanoid form, he looked like a tall, muscular man with pale gray skin, long black hair, and pure white eyes. His hands were oversized with claw-like fingers, and he walked barefoot. From his back, he could sprout raven-like wings. He wore a tattered black cloak, a golden armlet on his bicep, and carried a sword almost at all times. In his second form, Thanatos transformed into a monstrous horned beast, part dragon, part raven, covered in steel-gray skin and wings of darkness. He was portrayed as a sadistic, cruel, and reclusive being who preferred solitude and rarely interfered in the affairs of gods. Yet Thanatos wasn't entirely evil. He deeply loved his daughter, Erinyes, who shared his terrifying nature. Thanatos had a personal connection with Kratos. After the gods kidnapped Deimos, believing he was the marked warrior destined to destroy Olympus, it was Thanatos who imprisoned and tortured him for years, making his life one of endless suffering. Later, when Kratos finally found his brother, Thanatos became the very cause of Deimos' death. He also held deep hatred for Kratos after Kratos killed his daughter Erinyes. The battle of Kratos and Deimos against Thanatos is one of the most emotional moments in the series. Thanatos was depicted as cunning, hateful, and incredibly powerful. He could shift into a demonic monster, more terrifying than even Hades himself. His strength was overwhelming, he weakened Kratos, and even killed Deimos. If we compare them, Hades and Thanatos both rule over death, but in very different ways. Hades is more political. He sits on a throne as the king of the underworld. His weapon, the claws of Hades, can command the souls of the dead, but his power is still tied to the hierarchy of Olympus. Thanatos, on the other hand, is pure. He doesn't need a throne or a kingdom. His power comes directly from death itself, something even the gods can't escape. In battle, Hades looks grand, controlling countless souls, but Thanatos wields death energy that is raw, brutal, and far more dangerous. You could say Hades is stronger as a ruler, but Thanatos is deadlier as a fighter. When it comes to personality, Hades is very different from his brothers, Zeus, and many of the other gods. Hades doesn't care about the affairs of the mortal world. He prefers to focus all his energy on the underworld, but he is quick-tempered, sadistic, and brutally cruel to his enemies. When Kratos walks through his palace, Hades reminds him of their hostility, because Kratos had killed his niece, Athena, and his brother, Poseidon. Surprisingly, Hades also shows deep love for Persephone, despite her betrayal. He even preserved her body and built a massive monument for her. Unlike Zeus and Poseidon, both infamous for their infidelity, Hades seems loyal. His devotion to Persephone proves that, in his own twisted way, he's different from the other Olympians. Meanwhile, Thanatos may look cruel and terrifying, but he deeply loved his daughter, Erinis. When Erinis was killed, Thanatos was consumed by grief and fury toward Kratos. He even tried to kill Deimos just to make Kratos suffer the same pain. As a god older than Olympus itself, Thanatos despised the Olympians, including Zeus. He even mocked Ares, reminding him that he had kidnapped the wrong marked warrior. Ares took Deimos, but it was Kratos who was truly destined to destroy Olympus. Thanatos wasn't just another god, he was a primordial force of death. Even the Sisters of Fate had no power over him, possibly because he existed on the same level as them, or maybe even higher. But in the end, even Hades and Thanatos could die, despite being rulers of death itself. After a brutal duel, Kratos tore Hades' soul with his own claws, killing the god of the underworld. When Hades fell, the countless souls he had absorbed burst out of his body. The spirits of the dead roamed freely, many escaping the underworld itself. The tortured souls of the Styx then swarmed his corpse, dragging it into the depths of the river. Later, when Kratos dove into the Styx, Hades' mutilated body could still be seen at the bottom, his stomach ripped open as the damned tore their way out. His corpse remained, a chilling sign that the power of the god of the underworld was gone forever. In his final battle, Thanatos faced both Kratos and Deimos, wielding his massive sword and transforming into a monstrous dragon-like being with black wings, just like his daughter, Erinis. In the chaos of the fight, Deimos saved Kratos from Thanatos' grasp, but paid the ultimate price. The giant hand of Thanatos slammed Deimos against the rocks, killing him instantly. Blinded by rage, Kratos unleashed the full power of the Thera's Bane. He went berserk, tearing into Thanatos with relentless fury. The monstrous form of the god of death was shattered, forcing him back into his humanoid body. Weakened and broken, Thanatos was tortured by Kratos' primal flames. Yet even in his final moments, he showed no fear, mocking Kratos until the very end. Then, with one final strike, Kratos ripped open his chest and drove his blade deep inside. Thanatos' body erupted into dust and light, ending the god of death forever. Both Thanatos and Hades went through powerful evolutions in the God of War series. Hades began as a minor background figure, but later rose to become a major boss who shaped Kratos' destiny. He became the very symbol of Olympus's betrayal, and his death marked the collapse of the underworld itself. Thanatos, on the other hand, appeared only once in a spin-off, yet his impact was far more emotional. He became the reason Kratos was consumed with even greater rage after witnessing the death of his brother Deimos at his hands. Thanatos never returned in the main series, but his legacy still lingers. If Hades evolved as the symbol of godly power, then Thanatos stands as the symbol of Kratos' deepest emotional scars. So, who was more important in God of War? Hades clearly had the bigger role in the main story, as one of the Olympian gods slain by Kratos. But Thanatos, despite appearing only once, left an even deeper emotional impact. Without Thanatos, Kratos might never have sunk so far into his endless rage. The evolution of Hades and Thanatos proves that in God of War, power isn't just about who is bigger or stronger, but about who leaves the deepest scars. And in that sense, both of them remain eternal in Kratos' story. There are some fascinating facts about Hades and Thanatos in Greek mythology. Yes, both are connected to death, but their roles are very different. Hades is one of the Olympian gods, brother to Zeus and Poseidon. He is the king of the underworld, ruling over the entire realm of the dead. Hades is not truly evil, but strict and unyielding. His duty is to maintain the balance between the living and the dead. His symbols are the helm of darkness, the three-headed dog Cerberus, and his royal scepter. Hades is more of a ruler than an executioner, and unlike many other gods, he rarely interferes with mortal affairs, focusing instead on order in the underworld. Thanatos, on the other hand, is the very personification of death itself. He's not a king, but more like a cosmic force, the unavoidable reality of death. In many myths, Thanatos isn't portrayed as cruel or evil. He is cold, neutral, and his role is simply to take souls when their time has come. His symbols are black wings and the inverted torch, representing life being extinguished. And unlike Hades, Thanatos is far older even than the Olympian gods themselves. He's often seen not just as a god, but as a primal cosmic power,